on, guys? Okay, so today we're going to be learning how to do the frontside disaster. Now, this is a cool trick to learn just because after you learn it and get comfortable with it, it's very easy to do. You know, when you get into it and land, you're coming in regular, so just naturally, once you get the rotation down and learn how to get into it, it's just a very easy, comfortable trick to do. But at first, it could definitely feel a little awkward, so I'm going to give you some tips that can hopefully help. So, first thing is you should learn how to fly out of a mini ramp before you even try this trick. You want to be able to, just launch out and get on top of the coping, because that's very similar to the motion that you're going to do to lock into this trick. Also, it helps to be able to just frontside 50-50 grind. If that one's tough for you, maybe you could skip it, but that definitely helps just having that motion down. Also, switch rock, because that's how you're going to be coming in. So those two tricks I recommend, learning them first, getting them down, and then trying this. Once you're able to fly out and feel comfortable with that, the next thing you're going to want to do is just focus on turning your shoulders, right? Because you're already up above the coping and flying out, so you just got to look to where you're going, because in skateboarding, generally where your shoulders go, the board follows. So just got to keep turning and swing your shoulders as you're coming up the ramp. Another tip that really helped me was, when I do back disasters, I kind of hang my foot off the edge of the tail here, and when I get to the coping, I get light-footed and do a little bit of a slide. And frontside, I kind of do the same thing. I come up slight angle, and I'm not popping my tail. That's more of an advanced technique, and you can learn that later on. But when I first learned it, and even still now, I come up at a slight angle and get my feet light-footed, slide the wheels a little bit. It's basically like a fly out, land on here, and then come back in. So yeah, just keep practicing that motion until you feel safe, and you can lean all the way on top of the ramp. That'll give you a safe spot to hang out, where you're not gonna fall, worry about being uncomfortable coming back in. Just land completely on top of the ramp. Until you feel comfortable, then just kind of move your way in, and then keep doing the trick after that and work your way into landing in the middle of the board, right? Because that's how you ideally want to do it, is come up really quick, in, and then out. Okay, so once you're able to lock into the stall, you're ready to start trying to slide it. You're gonna come up and you're probably still gonna touch your wheels on the coping, but if you come at a bigger angle, and use that speed, the momentum, you're gonna slide a little bit, right? So you can still feel safe, kind of feel it out, be on top of the ramp, and then come in. You might hear your wheels squeak a little bit, but ideally, after you do that, you want to be able to lean into the ramp, kind of have that board balanced out, not touching at all. Definitely a little scarier, so I recommend doing that first way a bunch of times until you feel comfortable, and then trying it this way. Now, as I said earlier, when I come up for this trick, I don't pop. That's more of an advanced technique, and you could work on that later, but at first, I kind of just think about it as like an ollie, but I'm not popping. I'm just launching out. Maybe my wheels bonk off the coping. There's no coping here, but you could do it even without the coping. And your front foot rolls just like an ollie. So you're thinking about it like an ollie, but it's not actually popping. Now again, a little more advanced footwork. If that doesn't feel comfortable, if you can't think like that yet, your body's just probably naturally gonna do it. And if not, keeping your foot straight, whatever way works for you to get into the trick is good. And then just continue to work on the technique after that. Okay, and as for the slide, kind of self-explanatory. You should know how a board slide feels. When you lean too far forward, you're gonna stick. It's not gonna slide. If you lean too far back, it's gonna slip out. So I kind of just stay flat-footed and shoulders straight up. Also, one thing I forgot to mention about lip sliding is I like to keep my body stiff, frozen. The second I get into a position, I kind of just lock that position in and sit in it until I'm ready to come in. But one of the main things I think about after I've done my slide is when I come in, I don't want it to look all weird with my one foot on the nose and one foot on the tail, kind of bow-legged, just it doesn't look that great, but when you do it, your feet kind of land in that position naturally. So I do this thing where when I come in, I press on the nose and do a little bit of a hop and shift my weight, my feet onto the tail and my middle foot right in the middle of the board. So it kind of gets me in the position for the next trick. Now, when you're doing this, when you're sliding, very dangerous. Because you're coming, you got some speed and then you're going to press on the nose. So unless you're like leaning back or, really have that confidence and control down, it can be a little difficult. So that's something you can work on from like a switch rock or a fakie rock or even just the frontside disaster stall. So that's like when you're getting good at the trick and you have the slides down, then you're gonna work on styling it up and making it look good. And once you get that trick down, you can try to learn some variations. Okay, I hope this trick tip was helpful for everyone. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.